Let's take a look at the combatants now in this heat. Starting right off, it's Mark Webber. He's got a lot of pressure on him driving the Miss Budweiser. Bernie Little, the owner, out of Lakeland, Florida. Ron Brown, the accomplished crew chief. This is a boat that's going to be very difficult to beat, but this is a driver with a whole lot of pressure on his shoulders in this Seafarer. He will have, by the way, lane number 1. In lane number 2, it will be the close call with the driver, Mark Tate from Canton, Michigan. Mark Tate has had a difficult season, an up-and-down time, as Scott has said. Steve Wimmer's the owner, 0 for 13 on Lake Washington. The Super Wrench, Jim Lucero, is the crew chief, and they may just be hiding a few things up the sleeve in the U-10 camp. They'll be in lane number 2. In lane number 3, it's going to be the Burien Pennzoil pit stop, and that's Stephen David. And it's described by Scott Pierce, Mr. Calm today. Jim Harvey is the owner of the boat. Tom Anderson, the crew chief, and Tom is a good one. These guys haven't got the boat speed, but they do have good handling. In the number 4 lane, the DeWalt Tools, Michael Hansen from Madison, Indiana. And he will be driving along with crew chief Charlie Grooms, helping him go. And we may possibly get the green this time. Let's watch as they come to the line. There's the green flag, and we're underway, as you can see from the outside. It is the First Choice Business Machines that goes through the turn in first place on the outside with Nate Brown. A lot of traffic down there, Scotty.
Now Budweiser's leading going up the back chute.
As you can see from that spectacular shot, everybody got through the corner clean, and it is Mark Webber in the Miss Budweiser out front and rolling away from it right at the moment, but he is certainly by no means shaken. Second and third place. Stephen David's in there, and so is the close call. We got several rooster tails into the corner right now. There is the Budweiser. There's the close call coming off the hip. Budweiser with Mark Webber at the front of the race now. Second place, the close call. Third place, it's the DeWalt Tools. And then we've got the First Choice Business Machines in fourth place, and it looks like Steve David is trailing back. Across the line into lap number 141.523 miles an hour for your leader, Mark Webber, showing him the short way around the race course now through turn number 1 for the second of 3 times around. Notice he comes out in about the 2.5 lane there, Scott. That's kind of interesting. Going to force everybody wide.
I think he's going to find better water out there. His radio guy's obviously telling him he has about a 5 boat length or a 10 boat length lead now. He's really accelerating up that back chute, Michael.
You can see that the water is cleaner there. You can see virtually the wakes from the last time around, and that's exactly what he's hunting for, is good water. Out of the corner now, into the apex, and out of the corner comes Mark Webber. Boat really getting wild through the corners as he walks over the wake he left there the last time around. Coming down to end of lap number 2, it's Mark Webber from Sinclair Shores, Michigan, right back there where the Gale camps came from, getting a little bit loose, getting a little air under the race boat. Second place, Mark Tate. Third place, we got a great battle for third place right now, and just barely holding on to it is the DeWalt Tools with Michael Hansen.
Steve David does have the inside in that race for third, though, Michael, and Nate Brown's on the hip of the DeWalt, so that's one heck of a race there for third place.
That is a great boat race for third place. Speed across the line for the leader, 135.249 last time around. Mark Webber has everything his way, but look at this battle for second, third. We've got a real tough battle in the background going on there, and it looks like now, the close call is just simply not out of the way as yet, because look at the kind of bunching that we're getting there as these 3 boats try to come together and see who can contest for third place there.
Steve David's actually catching Mark Tate in the close call. I thought he'd have a good day. He's not disappointing me.
Checkered flag is up. Budweiser will take heat 1A. And, I mean, loosely takes it. It looks like the close call is going to have just about enough to get across the line in second place. Steve David pulls up into third place in the Burien Pennzoil pit stop. Fourth place then will go to the DeWalt Tools. Fifth place to the First Choice Business Machines. And across the line, 6 is Team Steel with Jerry Hale. Well, with all that traffic, Scotty, they managed to get through all right.
They sure did a wonderful job. I'm very proud of all the drivers. I'm really actually a little bit surprised. I guess I shouldn't be that the Budweiser won that easily, but Mark Webber, what a job he did. He kept the boat on the water. That's what he needed to do. He had plenty of power, and he just walked away and left them. And so maybe this kid's for real.
Last boat across the line, the U8 Chaplin's Bellevue Volkswagen Mazda Subaru, but they got to be happy already down in the Big Red Boat Camp.
I can tell you this as I look out there to the pit and the finger pier right now, They're very businesslike. You're right, Michael. They are happy, but they are very businesslike, as we have seen the Budweiser camp all through the years. And Scott, as you watch the Budweiser, it bounced a little bit, especially coming out of this into the first turn down the main chute here. But it looked like the boat was pretty stable. They've got it set up pretty much where they want it for the majority of the day. Do you think?
I think they have a better setup now than they had earlier.
All right, as we
the Budweiser during qualifying, Steve, you know, it seemed to me that Mark was hitting the canard wing too hard, which is the wing in the front of the boat, and was planting the nose of the boat. But boy, he sure had a feel for it that time. It didn't look like, you know, that's competition water, and the boats are going to get loose and they are going to fly, and we're going to see that all day.
In the meantime, the boats come back. They'll talk about it. They'll look at the telemetry they've gotten from their onboard computers. That'll tell them a lot as to how the boat was handling out there. Just another walk in the park, a day at the office for the Budweiser and Mark Webber. He's back there behind that water-splattered canopy. This Budweiser hitting the tape first. Close call phone card was second. The Burien Pennzoil pit stop third. DeWalt Tools fourth. First choice business machines in fifth. Team Steel, one of the Pico team boats, Fred Leland, in sixth position in Chaplin's Bellevue Volkswagen. Our rookie driver, Brian Reynolds, bringing up the rear in the U8 boat.
Steve, the boats in the fourth through the seventh position are now at an extreme disadvantage, and we'll want to watch that through the day. They're going to put 6 boats on the front line for the final, and you get there by accumulating points throughout the day. And so the first, second, and third, that's why it was so important for Steve David to sneak around the inside and get that third. It sets him up. If he can run thirds all day long, you can be in the front row of the final for the big loot.
Big loot. There you go. Speaking of the big loot, here's a team that's got a lot of loot, and they spend it. The Budweiser team, Mark Webber climbing off, grabbing the hat, and he'll be talking to Bernie Little, of course. Ron Brown, the crew chief. They'll be discussing how the boat handled, and then we'll have our Tony Ventrella get in there in just a couple of minutes and talk to Mark as well.
Steve, obviously a great start for the Miss Budweiser. We're going to turn Mark Webber around and congratulate you, first of all, for you said you wanted to get some points, so you got some points, didn't you?
Yeah, we need points. Points.
How did it feel out there?
We're good. We're good. It's the nicest I've ever seen Lake Washington on a Sunday. It's only my second year, but everyone else has been here for 20 years says the same thing. So
got a big lead, and you held on to it. How were the turns today?
We were okay. Everything was really good. We're just going to put this thing on the trailer, get ready for 2A or B, and see what happens.
All right, the start of a fun day for you, Mark.
Yeah, we're going to have a good Sunday. I can feel it in my bones.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Bernie Little.
Yeah.
Bernie, a comment on the way Mark drove that thing. Boy, it was zipping around the course.
Well, he was doing real well with it. We had it glued down to the ground real good. And we had Dave on the phone. Dave said, I think he's going to win.
All right, well, look, it's a great start for you guys. Good luck the rest of the day.
Real. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
All right, Bernie and Mark, and obviously the guys are pretty happy down here. Steve, back up to you. And